Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Start From Scratch Your Own Eyeballs Out difficulty at Ravenport Farm. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. We're going to do alright, I think. So, obviously, this is different. This is a Wii Maxim, I want to say. I forget, man. I get so whatever. Yep, it's a Maxim with a CVX, and it's 175 horsepower. We were in that 1455 at 140 horsepower, and we swapped out to this thing. I took a bit of a beating on the depreciation. You really do, man. Even if you've just bought something like 30 minutes earlier, when you sell it, even if you sell it at the store and get the better price, you still take a beating. There's a specific reason we got this, and I'll get to it in a minute. And we did get it with the front loader attachment. We need to because we don't have any other way to really lift anything. So the wool spawn did resolve itself. It gave me several warnings, no place to spawn wool, and then boom, it just started spawning wool. This is our incredibly ugly 1978 pickup, which does sound great. I have to admit, it does sound great. We are cleaning up after our sheep. Now here's something interesting as well. The food seems to be staying at 100%, and I don't know if that's because we put bales in. You know, it takes the whole bale, even if it exceeds what we'll put 100% in the trough. But it seems to be staying at 100%, and I'm curious if they implemented some type of mechanism where the sheep and the cows eat the grass that's in the meadow. That would make sense, would it not? I mean, I know cows, you'll still need to give them TMR if you really want them to make a ton of milk. But I never understood why they didn't eat the meadow grass. They're in a damn meadow, right? Come on, folks. So that could be, I don't know. Or it might just be because we have more hay in the trough, right? Like we're over 100%, but we are, yeah. So what I'm saying is normally when you pick this stuff up, you dump it back into the trough, but the trough won't accept it, so it's going over here instead. Going over here in a little pile. Yep, and I'll use that. I mean, we don't have seasons running anymore, so that won't rot. That'll just sit there until we do something with it. We got our full spread of tools for the front loader. So pallet fork, bale spike, and a bucket. We also we had our water bowser from last time. We also got the little subsoiler. I think you saw that. The broadcast spreader. You may have seen that. I did get the boom sprayer, and there's a couple reasons for that. We do have to weed, actually. Look at all this weed. Yeah, we got to take care of that. And I got a little tipper. Now, arguably, you don't need this quite yet because we don't have anything to harvest, but we will. We will. So that is what's going on. Now, you can see I plowed these two fields together, and there was a reason I did that. This was grass until recently. And I got to thinking, if the sheep are eating from the meadow and we can buy a bale a quarter of a mile away for 600 euro, this doesn't need to be grass. We wouldn't be mowing it for quite a while, so it would really just be land that we paid for that would be sitting there not making us any money. And that doesn't make any sense. So I did plow it, and I will plant all of this as canola. And this is the reason that I bumped up to that small Maxim tractor. The Vaderstadt that I was thinking of, this one right here, we could pull with the 1455. It's a 3 meter, and it plants all the cereal crops, right? This is 180 horsepower, and it fertilizes as well. So, and what I like about both of these is you can plant canola and soybean with them, even though soybean typically comes from a planter rather than a drill. But canola and soybeans are both the crops that we're going to focus on until we have some money. I have been grinding missions in the meantime. We're going to do a little housekeeping right now. I'll talk at you, and then I'm going to put that seeder. I'm going to put that seeder on this tractor on a worker, and then I'm going to go do a mission because we've been grinding money. In fact, I want to do this beginning of every episode. I'm going to go ahead and show you the books, so we'll keep it all honest. You can see yesterday, we did sell our 1455. That's where the sold vehicles income comes from, but we are in the hole, man. However, when you get down to the bottom, this is where you get your contracts income. We've made almost 50 grand in the past 2 days doing contracts. However, we paid $4,000 in interest on our loan overnight. So we're going to try to, we've got almost 100,000 right now. I think at the end of this episode, I think I might pay 100,000 off our loan, which would reduce it by 20%, which theoretically would reduce our interest by 20%. And the reason I would do that is, number one, the interest adds up. But number two, if we're not doing anything with what's in our checking account, there's no reason for it to be there, right? I would rather have it, how do I want to say this? It's not that I'd rather have it in the bank's pocket than my pocket, but I'm in the bank's pocket. So me paying my loan down, it does not, that doesn't hurt us in any way. Even though we don't have money in the checking account, we still have a line of credit, so we still have access to it. So it's cool. It's cool. We can knock 20% off that loan. Now, the only thing that we would need that 100,000 for is to buy a small harvester, probably the little case, but we don't need it yet. We don't even have crops in the ground, and I would not use that to do a mission because it would take forever. I just did a mission with the big Agco with the 20,000 liter tank, and it still took forever. So let me go back. Did we just, yep, we just watered them. Okay. Wasn't sure if I got it all in there. So we could buy the case and essentially just have it. We don't have anything to use it for ourselves, and I wouldn't use it for anything for contracts. So that money would just be tied up, and the depreciation and maintenance model on the equipment seems to have been tightened up a little bit. So it's pretty strict. The equipment does cost you money, so it's like if you're not going to be making money with it, you probably don't want to have it. And I feel like that is a nod to, you know, the first week when I was really down on the game, I'm a little bit down on it now, but I was really down on it that first week. One of the things that I said about the game was it's like a tractor collecting simulator, right? You make enough money to buy bigger equipment, just basically so you can have it, whether you need it or not. And then you buy bigger fields to justify the bigger equipment, but really it's just buying tractors and driving around in diggers, which is a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But I guess the economics of the game from a certain angle did not really discourage that sort of thing. You could buy as many massive pieces of equipment as you wanted, and there was some downside. You did pay maintenance and depreciation, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I think it's more now, and it could be the difficulty level we're on, but I'm feeling it. So now the other thing I said last episode, I wasn't sure if you could leave the attachment on the front loader and disconnect from it. You can. And now that I'm thinking about it, let me do this as well. While we're here, having just done that, perspective, having just done that, get in there. There you go. Let's go ahead and take that off. Let's grab our pallet forks. There we go. Lift those up a little bit, and I'm going to get this bale of wool out of here. I do this, I wouldn't say I'm like neurotic about it, but I mean, you know, if you know the game, you know that if you get a full spawn point warning, like if we had, I guess it's 4 that it'll hold, if we had 4 pallets of wool there, right, and we got the warning, no place to spawn wool, we don't need to respond to that warning, right? We can just basically do nothing and then later go and pull some pallets off the spawn point, and everything that's been sort of backlogged will just show up straight away. So it's not like that. Oh, game. Oh, game. Oh. So it's not like the wool that tries to spawn when the spawn point is full. It's not like anything bad happens to it. But I'm still, that warning still, I don't know, it kind of bugs me. If I see that warning while I'm out doing something else and I can't get down to clear out the spawn point, it just bugs me. So I tend to keep it as empty as possible, even though we're not making wool very fast right now. So that is that. Water. They got plenty of food. They have been cleaned. Spawn point is clear. Okay, let's do some weeding, and then I will come back and put the seed drill on a worker, and then we'll go take a contract job. How are we doing on time? 10 minutes. Okay. This is a cool weight, too. This is one of the first decent mods that I've seen. And the only thing that I don't like about it is the lights are non-functioning. That kind of bugs me. I also don't like this massive divot that we got. They'll get there. Now, we are on, this is beta 1.1.2.0. And it is available in the Steam store if you do the drop-down tab and select opt-in beta. And then today, when I fired up Steam, I also saw a small, like a, I don't know, 250K download for Farm Simulator. I feel like, I mean, I know they're working on it. I know they're fixing bugs. I feel like the level of detail and draw distance keep changing. And that's cool. I know one of the biggest complaints for me when I first saw the graphics was, you know, these are nice, but it really just, to me, it just looks like 17 with the bloom cranked up. Maybe a little reshade. You know, contrast is jacked. But I didn't see, yeah, things like this. There used to be 2 signs here. I remember I kept running them over. Are those gone now, or did I pull out at a different place? I pulled out at a different place. Okay, disregard. But one of my big complaints was, you know, this is just 17 with the contrast jacked up, saturation jacked up, reshade basically. And, you know, maybe it's more than that. But I do feel like they're tweaking things like the LOD to find that sweet spot, you know, to give the best possible graphics, optimizing. We all know how optimizing works. I don't need to tell you about that. So they are messing with the game. Good for them. In the meantime, I'm sort of chasing the dragon, graphics-wise. Some days I have it, some days I don't. I keep making small changes. I feel like I need to go in and pick things apart and see if I'm rendering DirectX or OpenGL. I don't know. I used to have FS19 set up for DirectX, which is my preference, but, well, 2 things. I don't know if DirectX is still the best fit for 2019 or whether OpenGL is better, and I don't know what I'm running on at all. It could be that, think about how I want to say this before I say it. It could be that OpenGL is the better bet and I'm still on DirectX and I need to switch over. It could be that DirectX is still the better bet and it is defaulting me to OpenGL. So I need to mess with that a little bit. I'll find it. It's, you know, you chase the dragon, sometimes the dragon chases you. But we'll get it sorted. We will. And I don't know, man. It's, there's 100 analogies for, you know, how you process disappointment, but it's like, you know, you fly to Hawaii or Tahiti or Ibiza or someplace, you know, for a wonderful vacation and your friends are there and everything is going to be awesome and you're away from work and everything is just super cool, you know, and you get to the rental car counter and you know, you rented an SUV and it's, they ran out of cars and they put you in a Ford Focus and it's like, oh man, we got, you know, 4 people in golf bags. That's not going to fit in a Ford Focus. But you figure out a way to make it fit, and soon enough it's like, all right, that's just the car you're driving. You know, who cares? Let's continue to have fun. You don't want to waste the whole week fretting about your Ford Focus and essentially waste that vacation. So yeah, there was disappointment when I first saw it. I was, I don't want to say mad, but I might have been a little bit mad. But, you know, I'm past that now. It is what it is, and we're going to make the most of it. So, there we go. Well, what else can I tell you? Missions have been... I feel like there's a middle path when it comes to the missions. I'm going to drop this cruise control speed down. I've been just going with the default and letting the maximum speed of the implement hold it, but that's not very realistic. Let's say 18. And let's raising that up. I want to raise that up. There we go. Yeah, things like that. I feel like some of the just the details. I feel like some of the details have just been tuned up. The response time of the implement seems to be a little more kind of stately and realistic, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know. It's it is what it is. You know, we're all about this fake farming. So missions, yeah, taking the contract jobs. I feel like if you're patient, if you just let them cycle through, you will sometimes make more money on the next fertilizing job than if you take a look and there's nothing there and you say, oh well, I'll take a harvesting job. You can take a harvesting job for sure, but like right now I have to lease the equipment, so let's say it's a, well, we don't have to say it because I actually just did it. Let's say a 15,000 euro harvesting job. Well, I don't have a harvester right now, so we have to lease the equipment. Okay. And then because it's harvesting, we've got the combine harvester on a worker and I'm driving the grain cart, the tipper. So now we're paying payroll. We're paying wages to our worker. So it looks like 15,000, but it ends up being, I don't know, 10,000, 9,000 after all is said and done. And that's still 8,000, 10,000 euro, but it's not 15,000. And if we just waited for it to cycle, maybe came down here to the farm and did some housekeeping, if we waited for it to cycle, soon enough there would be a fertilizing job for 10,000. It would take 5 minutes and we could do it ourselves and not pay any payroll. Now, to be fair, I missed that little strip down the middle. To be fair, missed a little strip on the side too. When you do the fertilizer missions, you are using your own fertilizer. So you take a hit there. However, I think if I do this way, this is the least overlap, the way to get the least overlap. Yeah. And there's just a couple little bits missing. Oh, OCD. Damn you. Right. So then we want to go over here. Ah, those bumps, man. Those bumps. So I can fill our broadcast spreader for about 4,500 euro. And that typically lasts me for like 3 or 4 missions. So let's say 3, just to keep the math on the low side. 4,500 for 3. My cost per mission is 1,500 euro, and I'm getting between 5,000 and 10,000 euro. So that's pretty stout profit. I feel like we're covering, the first investment that we want to cover is the tractor that we're using, and then the second one is going to be the broadcast spreader. And at that point, then we can begin with those fertilizer contract jobs. We can begin sort of subsidizing the cost of the other equipment that we've bought, and eventually we'll get to a point, hopefully, where the whole farm is profitable. But when I do the economic modeling, I realize that there are some pieces of equipment that are so expensive that it's like they can never really be profitable. But in some cases you need to have them, and in some cases I just want to have them because they're cool. Now, what do we want to do about this? Do we want to I'll try to get it as tight as I can. Tight, well, like a tiger. But I feel like that strip is going to be there. All right, we'll just knock that strip out at the end. And there are spraying jobs. There was a spraying job that I missed, finishing that harvest job that paid 10,000, and because we had the sprayer, that would have been perfect. Now, the thing about those are, if you lease the equipment, like if we had leased a sprayer, we still would have had to buy our own chemicals to put in it. And when we were done, we could have unloaded those chemicals to an IBC tank and used them in our own sprayer. Or we could have just used our own sprayer. It was a pretty big field, so maybe I would have leased one. But had we used our own sprayer, obviously we own the chemicals. Even if we use their sprayer, we can still pull the chemicals out because we bought them. So that is a cool thing too. And I feel like I didn't do a lot of contract jobs in 17, but I feel like that's different. I feel like that's been added. And that's, just being able to empty out the equipment is super, super cool. That you can use it for different things, and just from a realism point of view, that you don't have loaded equipment sitting all winter. Although there really is no winter right now. And I don't mean in terms of snow. I mean as far as a season when your crops either can't be planted or won't grow. So, all right, weeding is done. I am going to leave this fertilizer in here because it's, if we take a, really? Oh, okay, I thought those just grew. I missed those when I had that strip earlier. Okay, so this goes here. Drop that off. How are we doing on time? 20 minutes. Okay, let's go get our drill going. I call it a drill. It's listed as a seeder. Some people call it a sower. Man, I wouldn't say I got schooled, but I did a Train Sim World video, the Long Island Railroad. And I got a couple comments from people that actually, well, obviously they're all very familiar with that railroad. And I got a comment from somebody who actually drives one of those trains. And that is so cool, man. I really love it. So I know there are real farmers, maybe not watching me, but I know there are real farmers that play this sim. And I do wonder, like, how realistic is the sim? And how realistic are we as fake farmers? Right, so this is going here. I think everything down there is going to be okay as far as clearance. Maybe not. Maybe not. You know what? If we have a problem, we'll fix it. We'll fix it manually. And I am going to have quite a bit of overhang here because of the edge of this field goes in and out a bit. I want to sort that out. Right, so let's look at our crop prices. It's either going to be canola, which is $7.50 is the best price at the ranch, but that's dropping. Oh, and soybeans best price is $9.16 at the port. Gotta be soybeans. Gotta be soybeans. And with no seasons, we can plant anything we want, anytime we want. I do start that a little far back when it's on the worker. Right. 100% fertilized, 100% weeded. Let's follow this gangster, make sure he's doing okay. Yep, all the way out to the edges. Yeah, right there, that little spot that I got kind of crazy with the plow. Now this we did not do lime on here. Why didn't we? I don't know. They're gonna make their way around the... This seems suspect. Sir? Sir? Yep. Okay. Now, here's a question. Do we move it? Or do we just make it somebody else's problem and ignore it? Let's do this. Let's be good fake farmers. And I assume the tank and the broadcast spreader and turn those beacons off. And the culture plow will be equally problematic. Let's not try to do the hill climb. Let's do this instead. You know what? It's going to be OCD. All right, we'll fix it. Right. But this is kind of a good thing because I'm looking for homes for equipment. You know, trying to figure out the best place to put everything, and clearly that is not the best place to put that stuff. May as well find out now, right? And get it in the right place. You know, I noticed some textures have collision and fold over under equipment, and other textures don't have collision and just come through. So we've got plants coming through the floor the floorboards and the bed of the pickup truck. But then the bushes will sort of fold over when you drive over them and not come through the bed. So, and I don't know, I had to haul a big header. When I did that mission, I had to haul a big header up to a field. And the header trailer dynamics, man, it's like they never fixed them, and they know what a problem that is. They have to know what a problem that is. That'll make you crazy. You can't get the header on the trailer properly in a way that it wants to stay there, and then if somehow you do, when you get where you're going, you can't take it off. And my theory to solve that is that there's a trigger box on the trailer, and when you put the header on it, essentially the collisions change for both, right? For the moment, concentrating, for the trailer and for the header, right? I think that would be the way to fix it, so that basically, like, all bets are off if the two are in the same area, in the same trigger space. Does that make sense? That would be how I would solve it. Or just have a lock script where, yes, it is just, you know, sitting on top very loosely, and then you lock it in place. You drive where you need to drive to, and when you get there, you unlock it, and now it's just sitting on top loosely, and you can take it off. That would be my solution. Not fixed yet. So things like raining in the cab of the tractor, the plants coming through the bed of the truck, the trailer dynamics, the header dynamics with the header trailer. Some of those things I feel like, oh, come on, man. Don't pretend that you even thought about fixing that. You just put a new number on it and released it. So maybe that'll get fixed in time, maybe it won't, but there's a lot of frustrating carryover from 17. Makes me wonder. Okay, so this, now it's going on 17:15. So hopefully we'll have this done tonight. Oh, just thought of something. I have been doing this. This is not very realistic, but I have been doing this because, as I said last episode, I can't stand it when I'm planting a field. I'm planting a field, and as I'm planting it, I look over my shoulder and it's already starting to grow. Oh, makes me crazy. Right, let's see if we can find, all right. So there's 13 to harvest, I think. And if we, you see what I'm on about here? 1,500 less, but we have field 6. No, did we just accept that? Oh, okay, well, I guess we're doing it. Now, did we, did we lease? I think we did. Moment, please. Yep. Oh, you know what? No, it's not even worth it to get in the pickup. We're just about right there. I don't know if we leased equipment or not. If we did, we'll just obviously take off with it. If we didn't, then we will pick it up down at the store. What I'm thinking is, if we didn't lease equipment, then I'm going to lease the smallest tractor we can get and use our boom sprayer that already has herbicide in it. Is that right? Is that a step to the side of the road here? No, it's fertilizer. Okay, so we could use our pellet sprayer. Okay, if there's equipment down here, we'll use it. If there is not, we will just run a tiny tractor. I think I see some equipment over there. Do I? Yep, I sure do. Okay, so we'll need to put liquid fert in this thing. Yeah, we're not going to make a ton of money here, but we'll make money. It all adds up. Can I get through here? Realistically, right. So we go here. We go here. Let's take a look at this field. Although from from another angle. It doesn't really matter how big it is because we won't have any leftover juice. Field 6. Field 6. Medium big, and these things aren't too thirsty, so field 6. Okay, so we buy fertilizer. Shoot. What's this thing hold? Crop protection. 4,300. Okay, so we can buy 2. Let's just buy 2. And we'll buy 2, and what we have left over we will take to the farm and drop off in an IBC, and then we'll have it for our own boom sprayer. And we're going to field 6, so it's across the highway, and then take the first left. Okay. Good to go. Good to go. I will put some beacons on. This thing is kind of big and awkward. And where are we at? 31 minutes? Perfect. I'll do this mission. We'll get paid. And then we'll call it an episode. And we'll let the Maxim finish putting in those soybeans off camera. Right. So we're looking for the first left. Okay. So yeah, man. I'm coming around to it. But there's still, you know, there's always going to be things. I feel like if they had addressed all of the things that needed addressed from FS19, then we would just find a bunch of new things. Did we just pass our turn? Nope, coming up on it. Then we would find a bunch of new things, you know. But that's sort of gaming, and that's sort of just, I guess, where we're at as a culture, as people. We're never happy. Me included. We're never happy. There's always something. Right. And I did tell you, yeah, I told you, you can put contract jobs on a worker now. You do have to pay them. But if you want to do 2 things at once, or I guess as you get busier and busier, if you want to do 3 things at once, you can put the job on a worker. And this lined up a little better. Put the job on a worker, and you can only do 1 contract at a time. But let's say you had 1 worker contracting. Missed a little bit there. Let's say you had 1 worker contracting. You could have another worker working on your farm, and you could be doing something else, or however it works out. So you could basically have a lot of productivity going on at once. Yeah, you see that LOD and draw circle? That seems like, I mean, I feel like it was never great, even from the first time that I saw this game. And that's on, everything is on 175%. Either 175 or 200. Some things I'm able to hold 200, but that's, oh man. That's a little rough, I have to say. And this thing has always been tricky for me. It's got such a pause and a tail whip, you know, the way that it responds. It's good with GPS, but without GPS, I'm kind of a Melvin. Why are we not using any juice? I just noticed our juice isn't going down. Are we actually like fertilizing this field? No, of course we're not, because this is field 12, not field 6. Oh. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. I'm going to edit that out. Like it never even happened. Sweet Jesus, what a moron. There we go. Field 6, of course. And yeah, now our juice is going down. Anyway, hey, living and learning, man. Living and learning every day. Ain't nobody perfect. No, nobody's perfect. So yeah, we will, as soon as I'm done with this contract job, as soon as we get paid, I'm going to knock probably at least $75,000 off our loan, maybe a little bit more. And we'll keep that paid down as low as we can. It's always there if we need it. We have the credit. If we do want to buy the small case combine harvester, I suspect that we will probably lease it maybe the first or second times that we bring in our crop, particularly until we find out what that crop is going to be. I mean, if it's 25,000 liters of soybeans, that's 25 grand. That we definitely recover our investment from leasing, but we could recover the cost of purchasing in, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 harvests. And if we, now if we do it this way, if we wait until we have either a €200,000 line of credit, or until we have €200,000 available to spend, then we could get a small silo and a combine harvester. That would allow us to bank things like soybeans and canola. You know what, let me do this. Back this down. That would allow us to bank soybeans and canola and save until there's a great demand, right? Just store them till there's a great demand, and that would take us from maybe 25,000 for that small combined field to maybe 40,000 or 50,000. So I'm just looking for the absolute, like, optimal balance between spending money and saving money. You know, you bet big, win big. You have to spend money to grow. I mean, the other thing we could do is just get the smallest tractor we possibly can with a bale spike and just let our sheep multiply, right? Do nothing, grow nothing, just grind missions and wait till we have 150 sheep making 3 or 4 pallets of wool per day. But that's really not much fun. I mean, I'm sure for somebody that is potentially like the perfect and most efficient way to make money. But I guess it's the difference between, you know, making some smart long-term investments in low yield stocks and day trading. You know, day trading is probably not the best way to make money investing, but it's a lot of fun. It kind of makes you crazy, but it's a lot of fun. Versus, you know, giving your money to a broker and then you don't see it for 30 years, and when it comes back to you, there's a lot more of it. You know, that's not much fun, but that's a lot of money. So you see what I'm getting at. The best way to make money in this game may not be the most fun, but I'm going to try to strike a balance between the two. I started my spray a little bit early there, a little bit early. But these, yeah, the fertilizer missions, I have to say, I think are the best ones. I mean, you can do the transport missions, but you make €500. I don't know how long it would take to grind up at €500 per job. And then you can do these for, you know, 5,000, and our net will be slightly less, but we'll still do okay. We'll still do all right. So, yep, I'll finish this off. I believe you can return the equipment, and I did that a couple times. You can return the equipment manually after you lease it for a contract job and then finish the mission, or you can just finish the mission in the field and the equipment disappears. So, I don't know. One's more realistic, the other is more efficient, quicker. I don't know. So, and yeah, I'll continue to grind off camera, and man, I mean, today is Wednesday. I'm going to post this on Thursday, and the next one will be Tuesday. So I'll have, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll record on Monday. So I'll have like 4 or 5 days to grind. So I'll try to grind out at least 100 grand over and above what we pay off our loan today. You know what I mean? So that next episode, we can either pay another 100,000 off the loan, or try not to hit this tree. Ooh, close. Or we can buy something. And you know, it's weird. I think the next plot of land next to us, field 22, 23 maybe, I don't know, but it's the one right next to us, or the one across the highway from us. One is like €150,000, and the other one is like 280,000, I want to say. And at the moment, yeah, I should have done the overlap on the other side. Wait a minute. I forgot we don't have course play. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to steer this manually if I want to keep the ship on course. Steady on the helm, sir. So they're outrageously expensive. Now, the two pieces of land that we bought, I think combined they were like 400,000 euros. So they weren't cheap, but to buy the one next to us and the one across the highway would be like 500,000 euro. So got to be careful there. Oh, and I just thought of something. If I finished this mission and hit accept, we would have lost the fertilizer that we have in the sprayer. We have to take this back to the farm and unload it. Oh, man. See, little mistakes like that. That would have been, it was what, 1,600 for an IBC? That would have been like a 2,000 euro mistake. And I feel like yesterday, getting the 1455 instead of this little Maxim, that cost us about 20 grand, you know? And I do, there's that OCD. I do, even when it tells me I'm done, I do still go to the end of the row. So now yesterday, I mean, that's a little bit different. That was sort of, trying to figure things out. But had we just returned this equipment while it was full, that would not have been like, I'm just learning the sim. That would have been like, oh, I screwed up, right? Like starting to try to spray field 12, just a dumb mistake. So I'm going to try to do that, keep it to a minimum, because I really feel like it's going to be tight. I feel like it's going to be tight for a while, and then it's going to be, I don't know, it's like leveling up in any game. You're just grinding, and then you level up, and then all of a sudden it's way easier to level up. And I feel like any XP system in any sim, like it can't be all things to all people. And there are some people that will like level up. How do I want to say this? There are some people that always want to fight enemies that are like one level above them for maximum XP. And then there are other people that always fight enemies that are 1 or 2 levels below them, and they get less XP, but because they're playing the long game, so to speak, because they're playing the long game, they just stack that XP and stack it and stack it and stack it, and then they wait and only upgrade to legendary items, and all of a sudden, their character goes from being underpowered to being like totally overpowered, and then they're suddenly dominating. So I feel like it all evens out in the end, but different people have different ways of playing. So it's like no XP or level system can really be all things to all people. So in this game, there might not be an XP or promotion system. It's just money, which I guess is the original XP. It's the OG XP. The more money you have, the more things you can do with it. So we can either spend every penny we have now on equipment, which may not make us any money and will definitely cost us money in terms of maintenance, or we can be super, super patient, grind the missions, and buy fields that we take care of with the least equipment for the most part. That's one on our left. And then the other one is going to be sort of in front of us. Yeah, that one right there. So let's get these IBC containers emptied out, then we'll end the mission. That will, I think, make the equipment disappear. That guy's, yeah, I do have the speed turned down, but he's going awful slow. That's cool. That's cool. Playing realistically. I do hope they're done before dark, though. All right, so that's zoomed out a bit far. That's a bit far. I was trying to accommodate the entire spread of the sprayer. Now, this stuff tends to, I don't think it's 100%, but it tends to unload to the, nope, I had it right the first time. Did I? Yeah. It tends to unload to the right. And if I'm wrong, I mean, this is where I've seen it unload the most. If I'm wrong, then we'll just pick them up with the front loader. Ready? Here we go. Perfect. So now we've got some fertilizer. You know what? I don't need to drive this anymore. I can go here, and then I say, so we're at, let me check. We're at 90,006. When we complete this, we are at, so we made $4 grand. And we own some of this Juice. Okay, did I want to check something? Did I want to look at something? Yes, I did. I wanted to look at the price of these fields, and then we'll end it. So 18, yeah, it's 170,000, and this one is 280,000. So now if we buy field 22, in fact, we can go look at it right now. If we buy field 22, I feel like we get some forestry area, but I don't do logging. So again, you know, no system can be all things to all people. It's got trees in there that I could harvest and make money from, and that's perhaps why the price is higher, but that's just not how I get down, you know. And also this slope here, I don't know, that's pretty steep. But the other possibility is I cut down these trees right here and I sow all these fields together. So SEW, not SOW, because that's the top of that one, and we'd have to come up over a little hump there. But I feel like, yeah, and I'd have to trim the top in a little bit, but you know what I mean? I feel like we could do that. Maybe we will do that. What would I need? Well, I'd need 280 grand first off, and I don't have that. So we're a few episodes out. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Ravenport Farm, and we are in career mode. We'll see you next time. Take care now.